The New York Jets just robbed the NFL as we have a huge update in regards to this team and the move that fans have been patiently waiting for Darren Mougey to get done, while all eyes now turn towards another Jets star, and we are going to break all of it down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. We're going to jump right into things. As always, if you guys are part of that 60% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe for daily updates on the New York Jets like this one. But we're not going to wait around. We're going to jump right into things, because since the offseason began and Darren Mougey was officially hired as the next GM of the New York Jets, there were two moves that fans were waiting for this team to make. They were obvious. They were not something that had to be questioned at all, and now one of them got done, and that was in regards to none other than Garrett Wilson, the franchise player of this New York Jets football team, as that man just got a whole lot richer, Matt, as it was revealed by Adam Schefter that Jets and wide receiver Garrett Wilson reached an agreement on a 4-year, $130 million contract extension that includes $90 million guaranteed. It marks the first time in NFL history that a receiver has received an average over $31 million after playing only 3 seasons. Wilson now will be under contract the next 6 years with the New York Jets through 2030. Agents Jeff Nally and Graylin Crane of CAA negotiated the deal with Jets executives Nick Sabella and Darren Mougey. There it is. Fans have been waiting for Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner to get re-signed, and Garrett Wilson and the Jets have now agreed to a deal. It was expected Wilson's deal would be more complicated to figure out, as there was not a direct price tag attached to Wilson, but at the end of the day, you could see here fans are absolutely buzzing about it. They are loving it. He is back on the team under contract long term, and it is very exciting to see, Matt.
Like you said, there were 2 dominoes that needed to fall in this New York Jets offseason: the Sauce Gardner extension and the Garrett Wilson extension. We thought Sauce was going to be first, but it turns out it was Garrett. Getting paid that much money, that's a lot of money for someone who hasn't made a Pro Bowl or an All-Pro team. But we have to remember, wide receiver is a quarterback-dependent position, and Garrett Wilson has not gotten anything even close to competent quarterback play that could actually support a top-end season, like someone who deserves to be getting paid top 5 money in the NFL, the yards that he would put up. Garrett Wilson, he deserves, and clearly Darren Mougey also believes that if he did have competent quarterback play, he would be putting up much higher numbers than he's actually putting up. I don't want to jump too far ahead in the video. Are you going to talk about where this contract ranks with the other top wide receiver contracts?
Well, Matt, obviously I have it right here up on screen now that you ask. Go into it.
So what I was going to bring up was, he is now the 5th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Obviously, the young guys, every time someone signs a contract, when you're a young up-and-coming star wide receiver, you get paid the big money. That's why the top 3 is Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and CeeDee Lamb, all elite young players. Then you have DK Metcalf getting paid more than Garrett Wilson, who I fully believe that Garrett Wilson is a better wide receiver than DK Metcalf. And then you look at the 2 good names, or even 3 names just under Garrett Wilson: A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Tyreek Hill. Those are all players with significantly more accolades than Garrett Wilson, which is why it's a little bit surprising to see that Garrett Wilson is being paid more than these players. When it comes to Tyreek Hill, of course, Tyreek Hill was in MVP talks 2 years ago, but he's significantly older than Garrett Wilson. That's why Garrett Wilson is making so much more money than him. However, if you want to keep going down the list, Ayuk also has a first-team All-Pro, and Garrett Wilson doesn't, which is why I'm very surprised that Garrett Wilson was able to negotiate as much money as he did. But I think it's absolutely the right thing for the New York Jets to do, to go ahead and project that he would be better and go ahead and pay him, frankly, way above what his stats dictated that his price should have been.
I agree. He obviously got paid more than, if you look at the blank stats and without a name attached, you just see this player, and you could even say they're 3 years into their career, has put up these numbers throughout his career: 14 career touchdowns, 3,300 yards estimate. And what we're seeing is a guy who has never made a Pro Bowl or an All-Pro, given, again, the Pro Bowl's weird, but still the fact that he hasn't made it is kind of also strange because there have been worse players, but not the point. Not at all the point. The point is when you see just the raw stuff without attaching the name, you would say if he got $32.5 million per year, you're like, okay, well, that guy got vastly overpaid. I get that it says here he's only 3 years into his career, so maybe he's got potential, but that feels like a weird situation. You then put the Garrett Wilson image in that is right next to you right now, and what we see at the very bottom of the image, right where it cuts off, is that he's wearing a New York Jets hoodie. And the Jets, after drafting Garrett Wilson, have done nothing for him at all. They tried with getting Aaron Rodgers. It should have worked. Maybe if Rodgers didn't tear his Achilles, it would have worked. Or maybe it wouldn't have because Aaron Rodgers is kind of nuts. So who knows? At the same time, when it comes down to Garrett Wilson, he is a great player. He's going to continue to improve. And for the first time in his career, he's got a quarterback who is absolutely going to favor him over anyone else he's passing the ball to by a country mile. This is Garrett Wilson's offense. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I guess it's sort of Justin Fields' offense, but Garrett Wilson is the franchise player of this team. I mean, you could just see Fields is on a 2-year contract. That's not franchise player. That's we needed a quarterback and we like Justin Fields' leadership and believe there's a chance he breaks out. That's what that is. Wilson is still the franchise player of this team. For the vast majority of Jets fans, including the 2 people on this video right now, he is the fan favorite. I mean, everything Garrett Wilson does, and also we have mentioned this on the channel before, but Matt, you did say before the draft, before he got drafted, because I was with you that night, we lived in the same house, you literally said, like, I want Garrett Wilson on the Jets. He is a future star. And every step of the way, he's looked like that, despite the fact that he's had 2 years as Zach Wilson and 1 year of the ghost of Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's not been consistent play at all at the quarterback position. He still has put up good numbers as well. I mean, you look at Wilson last season, as what StatMuse mentioned soon after the extension. He had 101 receptions. That was 8th in the NFL with 1,104 yards and 7 touchdowns. It was his best season in the NFL. He's never had under 1,000 yards receiving, so he's been good, and clearly there's this room for another leap. And I think just in regards to, as you mentioned, you are kind of surprised that he got as much as he did. No doubt about it, I am as well. And I think when it comes to Darren Mougey and all that, Wilson had a little bit more leverage of, well, I could have requested a trade, I didn't. I still always could. I could hold out. There's a lot I could do here. I'm not going to do any of it. I'm going to stick around in New York, but give me some compensation for sticking around on a team that no one would blame me if I requested a trade.
That's exactly why I am not only in agreement with overpaying him over what his stats should say, but I am agreeing and supporting overpaying Garrett Wilson in this situation, because for the first 3 years, his situation has not been fair at all. When you draft a player highly in the NFL, you're not just drafting someone, and it's now on the franchise that drafts a player to put that player in a good situation to succeed. It's not only on that draftee. We got to give Garrett Wilson a offense to actually be able to succeed around in. And what this contract does is it tells us that Darren Mougey is not playing around when it comes to contracts and when it comes to the money. He's going to pay the guys. If they're worth a lot of money, he will pay them a lot of money. We are seeing all offseason long the Cincinnati Bengals front office. They are not paying their own players what they're worth. So don't tell me that every front office does that. Not every front office is smart enough to do it. Usually the New York Jets, the guys running the show do not handle things correctly. So it is great to see that Darren Mougey is not being stingy with the money that is owed to Garrett Wilson. This was one of the top 2 guys that needed to be signed, and we're very happy that he was signed. But now we are looking at Sauce Gardner, and if I'm now Sauce Gardner, I'm looking at Garrett Wilson, and I'm saying, okay, so he has no Pro Bowls, no first-team All-Pros, and I have 2 first-team All-Pros. There is no way I'm accepting less money than Garrett Wilson. I don't care what the market dictates a cornerback's contract is. Waking up, or not waking up, just being alive at about 4:35 in the afternoon on this Monday when this news broke, if you're Sauce Gardner, the price has gone up. If I'm Sauce Gardner, I'm not taking anything less than at least $32.5 million like Garrett Wilson. I'm expecting him just over $33 million per year now, because he still wants that record-breaking contract over Derek Stingley's $30+ million. And now, if I'm him, me and Garrett Wilson came in at the same time. I'm looking at that money he just got and saying, that guy's not better than me. So you better pay me now.
He's not. He's not. I mean, Sauce is right. Like, he's I know not last season, but for the first 2 seasons, he was the best cornerback in football. And I do think it still ranges on the top end of what we saw with Sauce Gardner potentially. So when Stingley signed that deal, it was obvious that Sauce, at the very bare minimum, when Stingley got the 3 years, $90 million, at the bare minimum, Sauce was getting the 3 years, $93 million. Around that. That was the bare minimum. Right now, what we're looking at is now, instead of seeing somewhere like $96 million, we're now looking somewhere at like the 102 range, if we're going to stick to it being even. It might not be exactly 34 million. Maybe it's 33.5, something like that. But we're seeing now, it would be shocking if Sauce Gardner does not get a 3-year contract that's $100 million or more. I think he will. And also, Wilson signed $130 million, 90 guaranteed. So we're looking at that. Sauce is going to want more guaranteed money as well. So it's all going to come into this factor where he's like, no, I want more average annual value. I want more per year, which is the same thing that I just repeated myself. But
you meant say more guaranteed.
More guaranteed, yeah. And I really do think with Sauce, he's going to get it. Sauce, it feels like this is a lot less complicated. And maybe that's why they did Wilson first. They knew that was going to be more complicated, so they had to go through a bigger negotiation process with Sauce's agents over at CA, or with Garrett's agents over at CAA. Meanwhile, Sauce, it's a lot more simple. We know he's breaking the record. Garrett, we knew, was not breaking Jamar Chase's record. So where things stand right now, it feels like they should be able to get this Sauce deal done in the near distant future sometime soon. I mean, Zach Rosenblatt put right here on a quote tweet after Adam Schefter announced the deal saying, Jets give Garrett Wilson a significant extension, and I expect Sauce Gardner to follow very soon. So we're going to see Sauce Gardner, I'd imagine, definitely in the month of July, get this extension. My guess is that they want to get things done sooner rather than later at this point, just so now those two can walk into the preseason and just be on their full contracts and laugh their way to the banks together.
One of the news that ESPN has been talking about this morning is about how the Cowboys' timeline to get Micah Parsons signed, they are fully committed to signing him, except they're going to sign him midway through training camp. That's not how you handle contracts. This is what you're supposed to do with contracts. Sign the guy earlier. The New York Jets don't act like the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones, he's objectively getting too old for this. We got to make sure we get both these guys signed before the training camp even starts. We said late last week, we were complaining and saying, what are the Jets front office even working on? If it's not the Sauce Gardner extension, what are they working on? It clearly was the Garrett Wilson extension. Glad that this is done. Can't wait to see what's next.
I feel the same way. It's a huge relief just to know that Garrett Wilson now is with the Jets long term. We knew it was happening, but still, now that it's agreed upon, we're going to see it with Sauce. You have the building blocks for the future. Go out there. Let's get this thing right. I believe in those two. Always have. I'm interested in seeing where this goes with some other guys, namely the Jermaine Johnsons of the world, the Breece Halls of the world, the guys from that draft class as well. But we'll definitely have updates on that as it comes out. Guys, what do you think about this? Let us know in the comments down below. Is it too much? Is it too little? Is it just right? Let us know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. And Garrett Wilson is a Jet for the rest of his prime, plus more when the Jets win 58 Super Bowls in the next 3 years.